Hello everyone. This is an informational video about a series of sites that I have done recently that I thought you might find interesting and applicable possibly for some of your own uses. It's basically a directory system, but it's a custom directory system based on a series of plugins rather than a theme directory system, which is more typical. What you're seeing here is the third in the series that I've done. The first two were directory listings for direct sales companies and other listings like that. This particular one is actually for products, but the type of functionality that I will walk you through can be applied to many things, to organizations where you have listings of members, to organizations with multiple locations where you want to have the ability to input and edit each location individually. In this case for products, it could be for anything where there are multiple entries for it, for which you want to have categories, very easy search, and most importantly, and I will walk you through this, the ability for users to create these listings on the front end and submit them either free or paid. So this site is integritysellersgroup.com, and it is based on the Genesis theme, but the system, the series of plugins, is not theme dependent. It can be applied to any theme. What it does is it takes some listings, as we call them, and they are populated with information. Let me just click on one here, and you'll see the information is an overview area, listing details, a series of images, information about the vendor, and then in the sidebar for this particular application, and this is all completely customizable, quantities and prices and buy lots and etc. This site is set up to provide listings for products to be purchased and then resold on Amazon. So it is set up to have a field structure that matches exactly what Amazon's field structure is, and therefore can be used with the information provided to very easily add products into the Amazon system. An added feature of this one is when a listing is created, either on the back end or the front end, it automatically creates a parallel WooCommerce product. So if somebody looks at this and says, yes, I want to buy it, they're going to buy the full lot. And what that does is it adds that product over into the WooCommerce checkout. Let me just remove this one for now. And they're able to now go and purchase it, pay for it with a credit card, and check out and do the actual purchase of it on site. So this has its listings directly linked to WooCommerce products for purchase. It has a parametric search system built in, and again, these are completely customizable. So if you were looking for computer cases, you would hit search, you would get a listing of all the computer cases. To drill down further, you'd go to the listing, and again, you'd see the information we had there earlier, including a series of images that have a pop-up overlay in them for more detailed information on each of them. This site has two types of people that register: buyers who are registering to buy the products off the site, and vendors who are registering to place products on the site. Buyer registration is free, but we do want a record of everyone. The vendor registration, the registration itself is free, but then it costs money to put listings onto the site. So if you want to register as a buyer, you would just click buyer registration. Very simple registration. This makes the person a site user, sends them an email, automatically logs them in, and then gives them access to the products. The way we have it set up currently is if somebody wants to look at a product and they're not logged in, they get a message that says, I'm sorry, you must be logged in. So you have to be registered to view the products. There's one sample listing on the site that we provide where everybody that is or is not logged in can view the information and see what the listings look like, so they can get an idea what it is they're looking for, both as a buyer and as a vendor, as far as what the final product would look like. If we register as a vendor, more information is requested: company name, address, things like that. So this then creates a vendor registration, and from there they would go to their My Account page. The My Account is sort of the heart of the vendor portion of this site. From here, they can then purchase listings. And we have 5 different packages of listings we're offering. They can purchase 1, 10, 25, 50, or 100. This particular user has already purchased 56 listings. So they're able to put 56 listings on the site without any additional purchases. Right now they have used one of those and they have 55 more remaining. So this is a constantly running tally to let them know their status. If they run out of listings purchased, they get a message down here saying new purchases are needed. So if they were to want to make a purchase, let's say they wanted to purchase 10 listings, they would add that to their cart, and they would go over here, and I'll remove the product we put there earlier, and they would be able to buy their 10 listings here, check out, and then when they came back to the My Account page, where it had 56 purchased, it would now be 66. So it tracks them individually, allows them to purchase them in different quantities. It also lists all the listings that they have placed on the site. They can view the listing and see what it looks like from the front end, which is this one. They can edit the listing, which is if they want to make change to it. Only they, as the listing owner, can do this, but they can come to a front-end editor and be able to go through and edit every part of the listing, all the images, all the custom fields, the pricing, the category, the vendor, and everything down to the end, and then resubmit it to update that listing. They can also remove the listing when they're done. Say in the case of this site, if the product has already been purchased, they can remove the listing and it will no longer be available on the front end. They can also add new listings. Now the add new listings goes to a form that looks very similar to that you just saw, where they can create a new product listing, putting in the name, the overview, the details, adding in all of the images, the vendor information, all the product specific fields, price, vendor, and the categories. When this listing is submitted, it automatically goes live on the site without any review because they have paid for it. And then over here, they would then show 2 listings, and the number up here would go to 2, and the number available would go down to 54. On each listing is a request additional information, and it's a modal pop-up where the visitor can put in their name, email address, and message, send it to the site owner, and it will also identify which product is of interest. It will be automatically inserted into the contact email. And again, fully customizable. On the home page, there's a section of featured listings. These can be monetized with additional costs to be able to be featured on the top of the home page. Right now, it is 4 randomly selected listings from those that are designated as featured. We also have a section here for recently added. So the most recently added ones will always show up here. And then down here, because a total price for some of these lot purchases is important, we also have an area where it randomly displays all of the listings that have a total purchase price of under $5,000. So these will change each time the page is refreshed. The site also has a blog in it, and down here we have the recent blog posts that display that talks about Amazon, how to get products on Amazon, and how to list it. In addition to the search on the home page, there's a Find a Product page that again is the parametric search. So in another example, if we wanted to find all the listings by Altigo, then we would do a search and we would get all the products on the site by Altigo, and then clicking on it we would get the information. As you can see, that particular product is the one we're using for sample. As demonstrated earlier, this system is integrated with WooCommerce, so all of the e-commerce functionality is handled by WooCommerce through whatever payment gateway is chosen to work with WooCommerce. For this site, we chose a custom post type called Listings, and that's where all of the listings would be selected. They have 3 custom taxonomies that go with them that you saw in the parametric search: categories, price ranges, and vendors. If you can add listings both from the front end, as you saw, and also here from the back end, the same way you would normally see a WordPress listing with the major fields, and then the image fields, and then the individual custom fields down here that were the same as on the front end, in addition to a listing notes area where we let the site owner put in some notes specific about that listing that does not display on the front end. Because it has the full WooCommerce functionality, you can also use coupon codes to give discounts. There can be quantity discounts that are built into the pricing, as you saw earlier. I mentioned that Integrity Sellers Group was the 3rd in the series of directory sites that I had built. This is the 2nd in the series, Direct Sales Directory. It is a directory system for direct sales companies where people as state representatives put their ads on the site And again, we have very similar functionality as far as featured representation on the front page, and most recent, and price to join under $50. In this particular site, the listings are purchased individually as opposed to by package groups as we had on the other site. The Direct Sales Directory site has an additional functionality where it only allows one listing per company per state. So the listings are exclusive. To do that, some custom logic was implemented where the registrants had to go through and say which company they wanted to select. So they pick their company. It then does a search and finds out where that company is represented and which states are left to be available, and then gives them a list of all the states that are available for that particular company. So if the company state pairing has already been taken, it does not show up on this list. Then they pick their state, and now they have picked their company, ActiLabs, for Ohio, and from there they can fill out the listing. And when they fill out the listing, and then from here, they add it to the cart. So a little different sequence than the first site. So that is the walkthrough of the two sites. Potential applications are quite varied. They could be from an organization with individuals, a multi-facility site that wants to have each location have its own page that's editable from the front end, a legal firm where each lawyer would have a page on the site and again would be able to maintain and update their own page. An organization like SCORE, where each of the companies that are being tutored can have their own listing on the site, again individually managed by them. There does not have to be a cost associated with the listing. As I mentioned, both these sites are integrated with WooCommerce, but that is not necessary. All the listings can be free, of course. So it's really useful for anything that you would want multiple entries, individualized, editable from the front end. That's really the key to the whole thing, is to being able to be edited by the front end, having individualized custom fields, and then to be able to take those custom fields and generate a fixed layout for each of the products, each of the listings, each of the people, each of the locations, whatever it may be, into a common layout for ease of reference. So I just wanted to provide you with this information about the latest from DeLime Website Services. Thank you.